Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to day 60 of me journaling my journey to become profitable and the best version of myself. Today, we ended up taking another win. Ever since we started trading New York session, we've been doing so much better with our psychology and just taking our setups because we know exactly what we're looking for. Markets have been moving pretty good recently. I can't complain too much, and we're overall just been super bullish. So, you know, if you see long setups, it just gives you even more conviction and confidence in your trades, and especially when you go for these one-on-one risk rewards, your win rate tends to be a lot higher. So, anyways, today we ended up making uh right here $541 on the eval. I'm not sure why my calendar and my balance has not updated yet. Maybe because it's Friday, and it's taking a little bit to update. But as you guys can see on TradeC, my trading platform, our balance is $51,344. So not bad for just 2 days of trading and being on the eval, just trying to build consistency and just sticking to the plan of what we're trying to accomplish. So let's just go over what we ended up taking today and our thought process. Today is actually an interesting day, and I'm excited to talk about this because we've used a confluence that we have not used in a while, and I think I just came across it as much because I haven't had the opportunity to trade New York. But today we actually used the SMT divergence in our trade setup. So let's go over what we ended up taking because today wasn't the traditional trade that we usually see. Um, on market open, it was actually pretty slow. I expect market open, like you see, this is the 930 candle right here. I expect price to just shoot up and sweep out liquidity. I was looking for us to either sweep out these highs or these highs, but price actually ended up chopping a little bit and just accumulating. So then, um, we were just accumulating, and we were inside of this 15-minute bullish gap, and we were starting to respect it, and I was trying to look for a long setup, and we ended up leaving this unfilled bearish fair value gap that I knew price would want to come up and fill, and this is my draw on liquidity, and I was looking for a manipulation. And as you guys can see, NASDAQ did not manipulate these highs. We never ended up sweeping out these lows. But on the S&P 500, we did end up sweeping out these lows, and this is a SMT divergence. And as you guys can see, ES was the more bullish index, and we actually also ended up inversing this gap right here, and we ended up doing the same thing on Nasdaq, and that's why I ended up taking my trade off of. As you guys can see here, we ended up inversing this gap, and if I was to trade on ES, this is where I would have entered my trade. But I trade Nasdaq mostly, and we actually ended up getting also a very nice inverse fair value gap right here. This is what I ended up taking my trade off of. Just took a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Put my stop loss on this low inside of this bullish fair value gap. So if this was to get inversed, I would no longer want to be in the trade. And we actually ended up hitting TP in literally like almost like 2 minutes. So it was really quick. But we had really strong draws on liquidity, and we just went for a small risk reward. But we actually just ended up completely just keep on going for the rest of the session, and another good draw on liquidity would have been these highs, but I just do not have the time in my schedule to be on the charts for this long. I'm blessed to even have the time that I do. This trade was taken at 9:49. So this is 4 minutes after my first period is over. So I actually ended up taking this trade on my phone. Thanks to Lucid, their platform, they have an app, and I actually have the app on my phone. And I saw this setup. As soon as I walked into my period, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. Like, I'd love to take this." So I did not have time to just like take out my computer all over again and do all that stuff and take it on my computer. So I actually took out my phone and took it on my phone, and actually ended up working out pretty well. So that's a nice advantage to have. And we just went for a 1-to-1 risk reward. We took TP, and I'm just happy with the where we're closing off the week. I feel like this week was actually really knowledgeable, and I actually ended up learning a lot about myself and just overall what I need to do in my trading. And what is causing all of my biggest mistakes and what is the root cause of all of my problems. And I realized that it was Asia session. And ever since I stopped trading the Asia session, I just started doing so much better, so much more confident in myself, and I know exactly what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Really happy with what I ended up taking today. This SMT divergence was also just an add to just my conviction and an extra confluence to just give me more confidence in my trade. But anyways, that's how today ended up going. I hope this gets updated soon, and hopefully we pass our count tomorrow. And I'm actually liking the way this platform works, and I'm just gonna stick to it. Unfortunately, I wish I took those 2 trades on my actual live account on Top Step, but it is what it is. We're just trying to get back in the flow of things and just get used to trading New York session in school. But anyways, let's go over chapter 24, what we ended up reading today. It says all things. It talked about all the things that will happen when Christ returns and just all the signs that will come with Christ returning. It was actually a pretty interesting chapter and pretty interesting insight on history. And I'm about to read chapter 25, and I'm going to call it a day. I'm happy with the way we ended off the week. This week was pretty hectic and chaotic. The beginning of the week was definitely really, really rough for me. Probably one of the toughest weeks I had in a really long time. It took me back to me as a trader when I was trading like a year ago, feeling lost and out of control and not knowing how to keep on progressing. But I realized that the problem was Asia session, and it was just stupid of me just trading NASDAQ during the Asia session. And a big thing was like, you just have to understand the circumstance that you're in and the cards that you are dealt with and just where you are in life, and just make the most out of it and just try your best to take control of the situation that you're in and realize your pros and cons. Like, my cons are that I can't always trade in New York session and I won't always have the opportunity to take a trade. But I feel like those cons are not as, those are like, the pros are me trading in New York session, having conviction, knowing what I have to take, and just being in full control. And the cons are trading Asia session, being out of control and feeling lost. And that is just so much worse than missing out on a few entries in New York session. So I'd rather just trade that and just do that instead of trading Asia session. I've been ranting about this entire week, but I just really just feel the magnitude of the problem. And I'm glad that I figured it out and I'm able to move forward. And that's just what trading is about. It's a war with yourself, and you have to keep on persevering and just trying your best to overcome the problems that you're dealing with. But anyways, that's a wrap to the week. Hope you guys traded well. Hope you guys are doing well. I wish you guys all the best and honestly just success. This is such a hard thing to just perfect and make your profession and just make this work. But I feel like it truly is worth it in the long run when you do end up making this work, and just the life that you can live with this skill is just mind-blowing, and I truly want to get there. And I wish that upon everyone that is striving and has the same goals as me. So with that being said, I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you for sticking with me through this week. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys know who you are. I really do appreciate you watching, and I love the support. And if you guys just comment, I read every single comment. I will reply to you, and I just appreciate the feedback. And you guys are on the same journey as me, and just know that anything is possible.